when's my claim going to be complete? This one's pretty short, right? Because there's not a single person on this planet, the VA secretary himself, your VSO, the regional office, Vera, the rater doing your claim. None of them can tell you when your claim will be finished. That is the number one question I see across all social media platforms is when's my claim going to be finished? And then someone will say, well, my claim was finished last week and my claim this and my claim that. And which, hey, that's great. I'm glad for you. But VA claims are extremely unique. There's no two claims that are the same. Jason and I right now can submit the same claim. We could live right next door to each other, and his might come back in 3 months. Mine might come back in 6 months, right? There's a billion factors that go into that, but I just want to throw that out there, Jason. Is there advice that you would tell someone if they're checking their app every day, looking at, oh, there's no movement on my claim? Next day, oh, there's no movement on my claim. The VA sucks,
It's the longest time period, right? From the time you file your claim to the time it's decided is the absolute longest time frame you will endure. It's horrible. It's like being on deployment. I mean, it's just you're waning and waning and waning. So what the VA says on their website is, how long does it take VA to make a decision? 158.4 days. There's a lot of claims in there that come up with that average. So that you could basically go anywhere between 3 months to a year. In fact, we used to joke about this because it is a question that you get, and we were going to get a little tablet, right, like a little iPad or whatever, and check the status of your claim, right, and type in your name, right, and hit the button, and it was just going to pop up a screen that said in process. Yeah. That's it, right? What's the status of your claim? In process, right? Just because it is until it's not. The only thing you could do is, in my opinion, is the part of the reason we get so wrapped around the axle, in my belief, on, hey, when's it going to get processed, is partially because we're wondering if we're going to get approved or not. Am I going to get service connected or not? Then almost second is the money. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the money is, right? But I've lived without it for so long that this is probably a new thing, and it's going to be great when I get it, and back pay and all that good stuff. But really, am I going to get approved or am I going to get denied, like all these other people talked about? And so I'm stressed out. I just need the answer so I know what to do. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to things that you've said before, Clay, which is, being educated, right? And so the more educated you are, the more thoughtful you are, the more time you take to develop your claim, the more likely the things you submit for will be approved because you're putting together a good package for your claim. You put in your intent to file, you bought yourself time, you put together your claim, you got all the necessary evidence, and you filed your claim fully developed, and you crossed all your T's and dotted your I's. Now, you're at the whim of the VA. It might not even be like Clay and I, like he said, we could file from the same neighbors, same claim. They could decide to run his through the close regional office, and then for whatever reason, they decide to ship mine way somewhere else. And I'm in, all of a sudden I'm in some other regional office getting processed over there, and then somehow it gets transferred somewhere else, and they bounce around. And it's just the nature of the beast, and it just, The big thing is I think the question is really, how long is too long? Yeah, like, when do you need to start to worry? Question. And, in today's world, I would say, like, if you don't see it, if you don't have a C&P exam by like probably 7 or 8 months, that's probably too long. And if you're not working with an accredited representative, which I think we both highly suggest you do, either just to help you file the claim or to help you with the whole process, right? So meaning that you did all the footwork, you just brought it to them, they gave it once over and shot it off for you. That accredited rep can look into the system and see if it's stagnated somewhere. If you're not working with one and you filed it on your own because, it's not, it wasn't rocket science for you, you figured it out, you understand, and you did it online or whatever, and you're in there and you're tracking your claim, and there's been no movement, or you haven't had a C&P exam scheduled, I would either A, call the VA directly, ask them, see what they say. If they give you a sufficient answer, cool. If not, contact your congressional representative's district office. They have somebody who handles Veterans Affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the person that handles the Veterans Affairs. They have contacts at the VA, and they will touch the VA and just be like, hey, look, just want to check the status on this one. Apparently, there hasn't been any real movement. They haven't seen anything move. There's been no C&P exam scheduled for 8 months. Just want to check in on it. And that might get it unstuck, if for lack of a better word. Sometimes weird things happen at the VA, and you need to know how to deal with it. Don't wait 2 years going, I filed my claim 2 years ago and I haven't even had a C&P yet. Boy, they're really backed up. No, that's way too long. You needed to talk to somebody way before that. Your thoughts?
No, I love that follow-on question. I will add, and I have zero experience with this, but there is a VA White House hotline, and the only data I'm going off is what I've seen on the internet and veterans' comments about it. So that's a grain of salt, but apparently it's really good. Okay, you can call the VA White House hotline for your disability claim, and it will get things moving. Now, if you call in 3 months, I would make the argument if you call less than 8 months, shame on you personally, right? At the 8-month mark, personally, that's when I would start calling. If it's, if you call in 3 months, and someone kind of hangs up on you, or they don't take you seriously,
Yeah.
I don't really know how to say that. I wouldn't sweat it, right? But at the 8th month mark, your follow-on question of how long is too long, that's the question we should be asking. But yeah, the calling the VA, calling your regional congressional person, and then the VA White House hotline is a solid start. But moving on to when should you file a secondary claim? And I have kind of my one-liner. It says secondary claim, but really, when should you file any claim? But honing in on the secondary piece, I always say when you have the evidence. It's either as you file the initial and you put it on it, right? Or you don't have the evidence, no big deal, right? No big deal. You don't have the evidence. You have your intent to file dates. Use that time to file the evidence. And you had said something, you alluded to it, is when we're talking about when's my claim going to be finished, all that worry and anxiety and legwork you're doing needs to happen pre-filing the claim. The second you send that bad boy off, okay, claim's gone. I'm not saying you can't upload more evidence, but it kind of it makes me feel angry, mad, and just kind of like palm in the face when someone asks me, hey, can I submit more evidence with my claim? I already had my C&P exam. I'm just like, why didn't you submit it before? Like, oh, well, I just submitted it. I did intent to file and I submitted it the same day, and I knew the claim wasn't ready. I'm just like, man, you're setting yourself up for disaster. That's basically you saying, hey, I'm going to prepare a supplemental claim. Whenever you do that, that's what you communicate to the VA. Now, of course, that's my personal opinion. You can upload evidence whenever you want. I prefer veterans gather the evidence, you have the intent to file, and then you submit the claim when you have the evidence. That's my answer. And it always gets to, well, what if I waited a whole year and then I'm up to that date? Then and only then would I say, you know what? Whatever, submit it. Prepare the supplemental right now. Don't even think about it. Prepare the supplemental, and then you can argue the back date. But there is a diagnosis and a facts found. The VA could use the facts found arguments to make that your new intent to file date, and that is a common. It's a common practice that you will see with the VA. But if that's what happened, that's what happened, right?